This specific message is for a divine feminine collective on the twin flame journey. Okay. When your divine masculine enters your mind space, you know, in any way, shape or form, they just enter through, it's important to observe your reaction, right? The best thing that you can do is hold loving intention. And as you heal through this, because it'll keep happening, but as you're healing through your journey, what you'll understand is this ability that you're going to acquire, or you are acquiring right now, right, is to detach from expectation, is to remove your attachment to your divine masculine being a certain way, being a certain someone, showing up in a certain way, right? And just holding faith that they are cycling through their journey. They really are doing exactly what they need to do on their journey for this. Because when you step back, I've said this before, it's almost like your partner's in crying with you, well, right? It doesn't feel like that. It feels like, you know, like I say, it's a journey, it's a process. You'll kind of go like this through it, but it's important for you to understand that you are here to serve a purpose that is wider than just you and your union with your person, okay? Though that is so sacred, and in itself, your connection is the stuff of miracles. It's proof, you know, of heaven and earth, okay? And again, you know, you've been through the dark nights of the soul, you know, the destruction of it, you understand that. And it's all been the masks within you being torn off, right? The versions of you that you have now reached the point where you're looking and you're thinking, hold on a second, I am so glad that I am who I am now than who I was at that point. That I've had this time to become me, to recognize through my mirror, yeah, what I need to be doing. And, you know, this is also why it's so important to remove that energy of, you know, the label, to the point where you're like attaching it to his face, to his name, to that version of him that you met, right? It can really like throw you off and pull you, keep you in a space where you're stuck in the past. You're not allowing yourself to move forwards towards that forward energy where you want to go, right? Where you want to create this new union energy, if you will, right? This more drive, this purpose-driven 9 of Wands. Definitely healing through something beautiful here. You know, when you're healing, like I say, you know, when you're on that divine journey, you truly, when you're healing through not just yourself, others are healing through you. And I'm not just talking, you know, the work you're doing here, but I'm talking about literally as you allow yourself to receive any kind of healing practice, your ancestors at the same time are very much receiving that healing, which is why it's so important to become mindful, to deeply connect to divine, to allow yourself to be guided, right, for the highest good. 2 of Wands. This is a beautiful energy. It's like you're doing all that work, you know, and it's like on that spiritual plane, you're speaking to each other and you're doing that work, and you know that it's not hard and easy, you know, it's difficult. I'm hearing treacherous grounds, you know, but then it's opening up this beautiful new opportunity where in the physical, not just like you connecting on the higher level, you know, if you have 5D levels and so on, but in the 3D, you can come together. And that's exactly what I'm seeing here. You know, for so long, it might have felt like the flame has been flickering. It's been dimming and dimming and dimming. And then suddenly it comes back again. You feel the full force of the flame, right? And then you cycle through those. And it's totally normal, because what it's doing is it's helping you to see what's happening within you. I'm seeing you're at a point where you're really creating a new ground for a revival, if you will. But it's not going to be like the past returning. It's going to be something completely new. Yeah? The more you're understanding yourself, the more you're kind of opening up this new path where there's so much more alignment and you're ready to create ahead, and it's with the flame of that fire. Yeah, hermit mode right now. That's definitely this solo experience. I feel like that you're really understanding your journey so far, but also I feel like you can see that, I feel like you're sensing, 10 of Swords, that's deep. I feel like you're sensing your divine masculine right now. 4 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. You know, if your divine masculine is behind the scenes in the shadows, you know, sometimes it's better that you don't know the answers, because they're going through what they need to heal and clear through, but also sometimes, you know, if you can see that, You know, there's a lot of talk often about divine masculines having, fake accounts or just like their own ways of trying to connect, even if it's like, numbers, whatever it is, different numbers on your phone, that kind of thing. Sometimes, you don't want to know if that's them, because truly sometimes whatever they're doing with those fake accounts, fake numbers, isn't just trying to connect with you. It's whatever else they're doing on those accounts, and that's their personal journey that they really need to understand and heal and clear through. And it's better that you stay out of that. Okay. Oh, look, the Four of Wands did want to come out, and we've got the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Okay, someone's ready. They're addressing their if you're feeling right now like suddenly you're feeling like withdrawn or reserved, or your emotions are suddenly really low, I think that you're picking up on your person right now. But I think also that what this guided message is coming through is you need to stay in your loving energy. I'm not just talking about towards them, I'm talking about genuinely in your life. Try and do activities or whatever it is that keep you in your alignment. What do you look? What brings you joy, right? What brings you how are you feeding the needs of yourself? Yeah, so those connect to your inner divine feminine. I mean, gosh, you have the beautiful ability to do so, right? Connect with her, ask her what does she need, because I think this is going to really help, as it like I say, you're both connected, those energetic fields, you share that, across time and space. The Moon and the Chariot. Yeah, I think that wherever this healing is taking place right now, it's really a Justice card to the bottom of the deck. It's really allowing the forward movement to be made clear, much more clearer. I'm getting Cancer sign energies as well. Four of Pentacles, Hanged Man. Yeah, I think that this has felt like it's been in Hanged Man mode for a while, right? And it feels like it's not been in the nicest Hanged Man, right? It's been with all the pain that's still, the dark night of the soul energy. That truly is what this is. But it's not just stuck there anymore. It's kind of like it's like the understanding of, you've been clearing through that. You've been understanding that. Yeah, so it can really help you to, no longer, outsource, and look for validation outside of you, but also truly understand the depths of your journey, like your purpose here, the way you are clearing and healing through not just yourself, generations that came through for a reason, right? You've been connecting to past lives, you know what I mean? And I don't even know if you realize it, but there's reasons that you're drawn to what you're drawn to right now. It's important for you to pay attention, whether it's like a spiritual practice or even just anything that feels like it's calling you. There's a reason for it, that you feel it deeply within you, okay? There's definitely, I think that you're both missing each other is what's coming through. You have done for sure. But I think you're moving away from that energy of kind of, I think that you're moving towards more of an appreciation of the connection, regardless of what happens moving forwards. You're kind of like, okay, first of all, wow, that's really, look at the effect it's had on me. Look at who I've been able to become as a result of that, that energy, that interaction, that activation. But also kind of the miracle, having you believing in miracles, your divine faith, restoring your divine faith, again, just at the bottom of the day. Something is happening. You've got the Ten of Cups here as well. I think that your divine masculine might very well be dealing with something right now, clearing something, and I think it's very personal. I don't think it has necessarily anything to do with, external. It's more to do with whatever's happening within. Whether they're bringing external energies into that, that's a different thing. But this is very, look at this, the wheel. The wheel is turning, like something big is taking place right now, major. You might be able to feel something as well. Maybe you're seeing different signs, or you're just feeling different. Something about your energy has just changed, shifted. It's important to take a note of where you're at, in terms of everything that you're processing and going through. So where your body's at, even if it's like hormone seasons, whatever it is that you feel connected to, especially you're cycling with the moon and the cosmic energies as well, because you'll be able to really help you to identify better, whether or not it's your person that you're picking up on, which isn't always easy, but it's also helpful for you to come back to yourself, your center, so you're not like spiraling on an emotion, right? You're riding the wave of it. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. It just feels like there's a really big turn of the wheel. Okay, we're going from being separate and alone to coming together. Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Nines are important here, and this year could very well be important for both of you. Completing something out, for sure. The World, oh my God, absolute confirmation what I've just said. I think that I feel like this separation, or whatever you want to call it, this painful period of time that you've been in, this, at least that energy is being cleared out right now. Okay. Let's get some more. Oh, look at that tower. This had to happen, this kind of destructive energy, because there needed to be so much more. There needs to be much better understanding. Your consciousness needs to be awakened, especially this divine masculine. It feels like this Ace of Wands, though, I'm hearing like a revival, and it's not going to be drawn by darkness and shadows and pulled away this time. It's like someone's finally seeing what was clear, like, it's like it's clearing through what was pulling them away. Does that make sense? Gosh, this is such an interesting message. I can't even like bring through the words properly. I think someone's headspace right now is their focus, so that they can finally come to this position where they are able to, I think, collaborate and work together. Dolphins could be significant here, okay? I feel like there's been a long time here. There's been a long pause. And I think that someone was sitting in like the tower of it, the destruction of whatever happened for you to come apart. And they're finally seeing things differently, clearly. You know, that they've always felt that passion that hasn't gone, but because of what happened, they were kind of stuck in that. But they're finally understanding that, hold on, something's happened, and they're seeing things clearly than they have before. I think that they're finally actually digging deep within the sun at the bottom of the deck. There's definitely clarity coming through. I think now they think about this, and it's like a warm glow that doesn't bother them. It's more like they want to come back energies. That's really what I'm getting. But the question is, are they seeing, oh, you know, life's short, it's too late, it's going to be too late? Or are they actually, like, you know, because that feels like it's more self-focused, investing, you know what I mean? As opposed to, actually, I want to come back and make this right for both of us. You know, not just because, I don't know, you know, Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this is someone who can't be operating in selfishness, because, you know, this is meant to be a divine feminine energy coming through. I wasn't expecting to pick up this much on the divine masculine, but clearly it's wanted to come through. 3 of Cups. There has been a lot of external parties, and I think it has a lot to do with family, the star, some kind of family energies. Maybe it's their own family, but as in, like, you know, they had a foundation, or their, like, parents, siblings, that kind of thing. I think they're understanding things clearly. They're seeing through the masks, the facades. You know, it's when someone... 6 of Swords, King of Cups. When someone... yeah, there's definitely forward movement. There could be travel. Someone could be traveling. You could be traveling right now, Divine Feminine. But you're finally seeing this... I think you're ready for a new path. Not in a pushy kind of when's it happening way, but more of a, you know what, I'm ready for, and even if it's not who you think it's going to be, you're just ready for your next step, your next level, which is actually a really beautiful space to be. It's like you've learned so much in this past cycle. I think that it might have been one of those rapid kind of, you know, you've suddenly just like changed, even like in the last month, so something shifted in you. And I think that you're really appreciating, you've got the beautiful, like the sun again. I think that you're really appreciating, maybe you've had different energies around you. You know, you're appreciating the divinity of masculine. And that's so nice, because that's why you've detached more from like the wounded past version of your person who you met, you know what I mean? You're ready for that divinity to come through. I was going to say that, you know, someone could be so giving sometimes that it's hard for them to understand what other people around them aren't the same or are just taking. And it's because they haven't learnt their boundaries. They haven't learnt that actually some people really are just self-invested, which is the irony, because I think that they have been self-invested when it comes to this connection. God, they've had a lot of like needing to look in the mirror moments, for sure. And I think that for a long time they might have ignored this. Not ignored it, they just didn't see it like that. Or maybe they were in a denial place. Just as I said, that judgment, talk about awakenings. Yeah, they're awakening to this for sure. But they're also understanding something else, something higher. I think they might have had some kind of download, maybe a dream where they were seeing some kind of future vision. Maybe even a spirit baby had come through to them. But they're definitely understanding that actually this is something that it's not, I'm not just holding on to it because it's some kind of, you know, something unhealthy or whatever. They're genuinely seeing this is meant to be my future vision. This is meant to be where I'm going. And it's time to invest wisely. Wow. These are deep realizations. okay? There's something that you've been doing, Divine Feminine. Whatever this recent that was coming through, this shift that's been happening, it's been awakening your Divine Masculine, whether you realise it or not. Death card, absolute transformation. That's come out with the World and the Ten of Swords. This is like Phoenix will soon be rising from the ashes, but right about now someone's trying to understand whatever it is. That just, don't forget, you will go, both of you will go through like rebirths and death portals psychically. It's not just like you have one and that's it. You have a few along your journey. So I feel like, and each time you have new realizations, you understand there's a new version of you, the more divine version of you, depending on where you're investing your time, energy, efforts, attention. Which is the attention thing's coming through for a reason. I think someone has definitely, and you know, I detoured about that kind of, you know, someone's got, they got these masks on, and you know, it's not just about you, like who knows where else they're, you know, investing that kind of energy in. That came through for a reason. They're understanding. Two of Swords and the Ten of Wands. They haven't made a decision for a long time, and this decision has been weighing heavy on them, but they have not been seeing things clearly at all. They are now. They weren't at that time, okay? Let's see what else we've got here to help understand what's going on. Justice just keeps wanting to come out. Justice, Ace of Pentacles. Justice is coming in. And whether or not it's going to be in the form of what you're expecting or just something that divine is like, okay, I'm hearing divine like deliverance. Seven of Cups, yeah. So you don't know what it is. I'm not sure you're meant to, because otherwise it would have come through here. The Seven of Cups, it could be so many different things. You've had a lot on your mind, I think. You've had a lot that you've been sitting with, a lot that you've been trying to work out so you can move forwards, you know, because you're finally getting to that point where you're like, well, if someone's not coming through for you the way you expected, then what do you need to do now? And your focus is shifting. Eight of Swords. You're no longer stuck in that mental prison, yeah, where the thoughts were all about your person and you two in union, whatever. It's finally like, okay, clearing through. I think that's exactly what's helping your Divine Masculine to finally level up and see things clearly and start to really reflect. Wow. Knight of Swords. Thoughts are coming in fast for your Divine Masculine, and you're just releasing this mental bind. You're finally wanting to move forward, no longer stuck in like fantasy or overthinking about where they are, what they're doing, who they're with, you know, all these kind of things, which is completely normal on the journey, don't worry. But, you know, it was painful for you. It's just hurt. You know, and you're understanding that now. Ace of Pentacles, because you've been seeing your worth. There's something you've been focusing on. I think it's something to do with your purpose that's finally coming through, and you're seeing the horizon. You're not... Ooh. Okay. There could be someone or something coming to you. I don't know if it's your person, but, you know, there's some kind of energy that's... Again, you know, I think it's just you're appreciating the divinity of masculinity. And dark and light, just like the Divine Feminine, Seven of Pentacles. This has been, you're finally thinking, what am I watering? You know, it's been trickling through bit by bit, and you're finally at this space with these Lovers and the Nine of Pentacles here as well. You're understanding that, hold on, am I choosing my heart? Am I choosing my wounded heart that's still waiting for someone, or whatever it is that's been happening for you specifically? Every journey is so unique. You need to check in with yourself, right? But I definitely think that there's something in you that was so deeply rooted that's finally being cleared through. You're ready to close this out and move forward. It's a psychic process, yes. Your person will still keep coming back into your mind, your feelings, you know, and you'll continue to have some kind of response within you, which is why I'm saying it's so important to observe how you're reacting each time your person comes into your mind. And I keep saying specifically into your mind. And I think it's because actually the version of your person that you know isn't who they are anymore, but you wouldn't know this because, like I say, it feels like it's been a while. You've both been healing and clearing through so much. All I'm like hearing is less confusion of the heart. That's a big message here. Less confusion of the heart. And you know, your focus as is shifting more on what you need to be doing, your purpose, the people you're here for, whether it is, again, that family energy, loved ones, you know, friendships, people who are being sent on your path, you know, whether it could be children, animals, the earth, you know, people that are needing your light, truly, because you've been accessing your light more. The more you're focusing on that, the more you're clearing out so much. That is, this is the energy. Heart-to-heart conversations. The more you're focusing out closing out where your focus was just not best placed, you know, especially as divine feminine. You're accessing your divine feminine so much more. Heart-to-heart conversations. You're learning how to have more heart-to-heart conversations generally. You're connecting more to your vulnerability. You're allowing yourself to be like emotionally intimate with yourself. You're not running away from your emotions, right? That's not to say you ever did, but there's just something about you being true about it more. Like you're not trying to mask the hurt and the pain. Oh my god, they're going to see me like this, going to see me, you know, you're actually, you know what, that's true, that is how I felt, and that's my feelings. And you're holding yourself way more like, that's true to me, as opposed to being afraid of what that means. Yeah, flirty energies here, light-hearted energies. Separation, that's the thing. I think the separation occurred because of that energy, and I think that even in separation you might have had some kind of evidence, or whatever you want to call it, that maybe your person was in that flirty energy. So I want to make sure that you understand, I'm talking about energies, not gender, okay? Your person was in that kind of flirty energy, you know, and again, that can be really painful. But you reach that point where you understand that, you know, it wasn't about you, but also you deserve so much better, right? Which is again why it keeps coming to me, that when they come to your mind, because you don't know who they are now. Because I'm feeling this is someone who's very much changed. Retreat, disconnecting. That exactly, you disconnected. I think maybe you disconnected online. I don't know if you two disconnected, you know, online, or something to do with like your phone, you know, because of this energy. Or maybe they tried to come through. That masks had came through for a reason before, you know, and it was just flirty energy. That you were just like, no, I want heart-to-heart conversation, and they just weren't ready. Reconciliation wanted to come out there. Again, they wanted to reconcile when they were coming through with whatever flirty energy is, even if it was masks. They were just doing it in a way that wasn't from their divine self either. And perhaps you didn't respond from your divine self, okay? Learning cycles, you're teaching each other, okay? Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. That's what I mean. Oh my God, and you deserve love. You are lovable. Massive card. Self-worth. Learning your worthiness. What do you deserve? You know, you deserve that. Think that you deserve someone's truth. Don't forget, divine masculine is divine truth. Both of you have that within you. Remember that inner union. It's so important to understand that it's your inner divine masculine, your inner divine feminine, who are divine truth and divine love, who are guiding you intuitively and taking the right action in the physical, right? It's within you that's taking place. So this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek, okay? So that's kind of, I think we know that. Okay, it's safe for you to love. Again, I think that there's been a change here, you know. It's safe for you to love. I think also for you to express your truth, for you to love from your heart space in your life generally. You know, your heart space is your safe space, right? Because you've been learning how to connect to that more authentically, not just from that guarded, wounded place, right? Passion, true love, divine connection, love, romance of lifetime, passion. There's a lot of passion, but I think that you're learning how to connect to your own passion for yourself. You're letting your heart and soul sing with joy, right? And you're doing that for you, which is really beautiful, because it's allowing you to be more prepared for this than you realize that you would be. And as a result, you're energetically, whether you realize it or not, you're helping your divine, your person to energetically kind of clear through so much too. Yeah, what do you need to release? They're focusing on that right now. They're releasing some things. I do feel like they have this desire. Maybe it's because of like the seasons that we're currently in the northern hemisphere. It's summer, right? But just like this wanting to get away kind of energies. Don't let pride get in your way. Leo energies, Leo season. Don't let pride get in your way. I think that's another thing. Someone's had that energy where they've been that flirty, masky energy, because their ego has been so afraid that you're going to either reject them or treat them in a way, whatever happened in the past, you know, for that tower energy. Bring love into the situation. Yeah, there's something about really having that understanding right now about each other's journey, where you're both at, right? Because you're both having to do this. You know, you're both having to clear through so much in your own ways as well, okay? Take time to breathe out. Yeah, that's that retreat energy. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you do need to like disconnect and go away or something. You know, have a pause, because there is a big cycle here that's closing out right now. Okay, and it's going to bring you some kind of justice. Yeah, nothing will come of this situation. whatever that is that's closing out is happening for the best, right? This version of even expectation, even whether it's to a person or anyone else. Show the world the real you. Authenticity, Aquarius energy. Authenticity. A new start is coming. Oh, that's beautiful. So whatever this is that has been keeping this stuckness in place in your own life, expect powerful change. I haven't seen that in a while. In your own life as well. Something about it that's closing out that needs to, because nothing's going to come of that anymore. And I think it has to do with how you, whether it was your expectations or just kind of I think it had to do with like this past version of both of you. Now it's time to elevate and say, hold on a second, my purpose, my alignment, what am I here for? And that's going to bring through what you need. So the card on the floor was your commitment is being tested. I do think this is a big part of what's happening with this Justice card. I think that everything that you've been clearing and healing through is going to come through to you in little tests. Okay, and this is where this powerful change is coming through, because something is taking place that's going to allow you to move on to your next level. And I mean, this is powerful change. This is coming through here for a reason. 9 of Cups, yeah. 9 of Cups, the Strength card at the bottom of the deck as well. Again, we've got Leo season is going to be big for whatever this is. There's a wish, that something that you've been wanting, and it's like they want to grant you this wish. They really do. Okay, Knight of Cups. Don't be led by illusion, okay? But I do feel like it's something that your heart is truly desiring for and has been moving towards as well. And calling in, I'm hearing specifically, Divine Feminine receives, right? Page of Pentacles, but also you're putting in the work where you need to. So you're understanding that what you're required to do, like you're accessing that inner Divine Masculine, right? In the terms of this connection, you're also creating space for your Divine Masculine to come through. Oh my God, Page to the King of Pentacles, confirmation. This is someone who's stepping up. This could be to do with your abundance path as well. I've got 6 of Wands, that's success here. Maybe, I think, they could be moving into success, which is what's going to help them to feel even more kind of confident to move towards you and this connection, because they need to be in that space usually to be able to make that move without the masks, all that kind of stuff as well. Okay, so I do think that someone wants to come through to you with an offer, truly. But I think there's just something that's closing out right now for both of you. Something to do with external temptations or whatever it is. That can even be little things like people communicating with you in a certain way that can trigger you. Remember, you've been healing and clearing through so much for a reason, whether it's family, loved ones, whoever. If it's like external pulls that are trying to bring you back down to kind of ways of just operating from a wounded place that your subconscious is now, has been clearing through, so you're more aware of it, whereas before you weren't, right? Strength card, you're going to need to really hone in on this strength for whatever's coming through. Disconnect, retreat for a reason, right? Don't let your inner child take the reins on this one, because there's something really beautiful ahead once you I think it's kind of like you're proving that you're safe for this love as well, right? As well as a two-way thing, and nothing's going to come of the past. So if it comes through to trigger you, whatever this is, you don't need to worry anyway. You just need to breathe, take a moment, step back, remove yourself from the situation, whatever it is, because nothing's actually going to come of that. It's just coming through to make sure that you have now elevated to that space where you're ready for this beautiful new start, powerful change, wish coming in. I'm hearing something about doubt and indecision, and that kind of detour, whatever it is, about like those online behaviors or whatever it is that someone was operating from previously, with that flirty energy, whether it's fake numbers, fake accounts, whatever. I think there's something about that they're going to be tested with. Have they leveled up? Are they now the safe space? Are they now stable? How are they still acting? Are they still, moving from that energy? Are they still like connecting with others or whatever it is that's like this temptation energy? Maybe they just have a temptation to connect or something, okay? Love secret, yeah, see, there's something, it's like being kept a secret, and it's like, well, if you want it to be manifest in your reality, you're going to need to take the plunge. You're going to need to hold faith in your ability to do this as well, okay? The number 11 is really sticking out then. That could be a life path number 11, or just the month of November, one or the other. Could have been important for some kind of memory. Love's embrace. See, when you take the plunge, love's embrace is their jealousy and possessiveness. I think someone doesn't know how to respond to how they feel, so they end up acting out. That's how they've been. there's no excuse for that. They just need to heal through whatever they need to heal through. But this is what they're going to be tested with. And I think that they're going to... I think there's something they've been working on. I really do. But it's just taking a while. And it's all about them knowing their worth and loving themselves and removing insecurity. It's a game of love, right? They want to invest in this, like making moves in this game of love, but it's not a game, warrior of love as well. You know, they want to, it's like maybe they have this energy where they just want to really, you know, sweep you off your feet kind of energy, but for some reason they just can't put it into action, right? And again, that's, you know, you'll know how that is for you when you're wanting to do something so much, your mind and heart is set on it, but for some reason it's just not coming into fruition. You don't understand why, but it's like something beneath the surface, behind the scenes, is clearing through, you know, divine orchestration as well, which is why, again, you know, connecting to divine is so important on this journey, your personal journey. It's like that is your number one connection anyway, you know, you to yourself, you to divine, you know, that's going to really help as well, is what I'm getting. But with this take the plunge, I'm getting the next 2 months here as well, especially with this 22. You know, there's a 2, like 11 1 1 2 2. That's a really important kind of sequence or synchronicity kind of thing. Things are finally coming into alignment, truly, but it comes with the destruction of the past, like healing through that, understanding that, clearing through that, becoming honest for this new movement forwards. You two are not each other's usual type, which makes sense, but you're also very different. So it's not, you've not really been able to understand each other very well, especially in like this time apart. You know, there's a lot happening in the mind. I think this is someone he's a fantasist, you know, maybe they're in their head a lot. They fantasize about so much, you know, even daydreaming about romantic stuff, and it's like, in my throat. They have been focusing on building, there could be a business owner or something stable, maybe even a house that they can offer moving forwards to what they want to create, this home, this safety, okay? We've got the number 8, 22, 11, 20 and 5, okay? They could be important numbers. It feels like that divine wants to really bring through to you this new adventure, this brand new kind of energy where love can embrace you and you can embrace love truly with this new powerful start, right? But it comes with you finally releasing and letting go of past expectations, those past experiences actually playing through your mind again and again, you know, being stuck in like fantasy, illusion, even like self-deception when you're overthinking, right? And it's time to really awaken to your truth, what has closed out and gone now, so you can finally release it and hold on to the fact that actually there's some things that just red thread will always be there, right? But without having attachment expectation to it, so you can truly begin to receive what divine truly wants to send to you. I mean, there's something beautiful here, and you know, someone is going to be taking the plunge, as the card says, okay? But that's because you've reached a space where you're way more stable and have so much more faith in where your heart is calling you. I'm getting the message that someone is seeing this divine feminine in her light glowing, and it's not obvious too, so again it could be behind the scenes somehow, okay? But they're definitely seeing what they could have had, what could have been, right? And they want this moving forwards better than it ever has been before. But again, divine feminine, there's this energy for you to really release the past, the hurts that were happened in the past for you, so you can no longer be stuck in nostalgia and memories of the past, and you know, being all like being drawn into that, because it's time for you to really hone in on this beautiful divine light that the world needs from you and is helping your divine masculine see his truth, truly, okay? But that's not the reason. You need to be focusing in on you without the expectation of anyone outside of you, okay? You and divine is your focus right now, okay? Heart to heart. Let me know if this message was for you. Sending love.